This therapist in California gains 14 new patients every month without ads. Before working with Overflow Cafe, they had a Wix website and wanted stronger keyword rankings, more website traffic, and most importantly, increased revenue. Today, they generate consistent revenue from Google, Bing, Maps, social media, ChatGPT, and other major AI platforms without spending more on ads. The results: 14 new patients every month, over 120 top ranking keywords, more than 500 monthly visitors, and an 800% increase in AI visibility. In this video, you'll see the actual consultation we did for the client before we started, the problems we found, and the exact SEO strategy we proposed to help them achieve these good results. Let's jump right into the details, and if you'd like us to do the same for your business, don't forget to sign up for a 90-day free trial. So let's take a look. I like your website. It's nice and clean and simple. It's a Wix website. I'm very familiar with Wix. We've got hundreds and hundreds of customers who are on the Wix platform. And we have many psychologist clients. So let's take a look at what's going on with your website right now. You have an authority score of 6 out of 100. You have 16 visitors per month who find you through Google, and there are 12 websites that link to your website, and they link to you several times. So it's a total of 23 backlinks. Your traffic is on an uptrend. 16 visits isn't much, but you are moving up. You see here, March of last year, it was 0. In fact, it's been 0 for a long time, and now you're at 16. You were as high as 28, and this is normal. Every traffic graph goes up and down for every website in the whole world. Regarding your keyword rankings, I see that your keyword rankings are also trending up, so that's good too. You're ranking currently for 11 keywords: Dr. Christina, psychologist, your Google page 1, spot 6, your last name. Although I think because it's just a single word, doubt that they're looking you up. They're just looking up this word. DRC psychology, you're on page 2. Christina psychologist. I also don't think that they're looking for you specifically. But you basically have 11 words. They're a little bit random, but they are delivering 16 visitors to you in Google. Now, your website basically says that you're providing service to all of California. I completely understand that. And it's basically online. It's teletherapy. And that's fine too. During the pandemic, pretty much almost all of our therapy clients have basically, they've switched to online. Here's the problem. You still have to think about how people search for a therapist. So most people go to Google and they'll type something like Los Angeles therapist, San Francisco therapist. They search along those lines. Or if they're physically located in California, they'll type therapist near me. And so it's very that aren't really doing too much for you at the moment. Remember, you don't just want to rank for words, you want to rank for words that drive you actual patients. So when somebody types in Los Angeles therapist, they're probably looking for a Los Angeles therapist. Now, if they land on your website, let's say your website shows up and they click on it and they go to your website and they through it and they say, oh, okay, this doctor only provides online therapy right now. That's secondary to the fact that you're a Los Angeles therapist. The most important thing is for you to be a Los Angeles therapist. Now, I'm using this as an example. I actually don't know specifically where you're located. All I know is that you provide teletherapy in California, and Google won't be able to rank you specifically for that. And I'll tell you, the number of people looking for teletherapy, it's basically 0 because most people don't know what that is. And it's probably going to be 10 or 15 years before people even know what that is. And then they can start searching it up in Google. Right now, they're just saying, I need therapy. I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to type my city name and I'm going to type the word therapist or therapy. Or if they're more sophisticated, they will type out psychologist. Most people won't type out psychologist because most people don't know what that is. They'll just type therapist because everybody knows the word therapy. So, anyways, moving on. I'm using this as an example phrase, Los Angeles therapist, and 260 people go to Google every month and they type this specific phrase, Los Angeles therapist. However, there are 1,800 variations that total over 19,000 monthly searches. So remember, up here, this is 260 potential patients for you every month, which is obviously way more than any one therapist can handle. But then there's also therapist Los Angeles. Well, that has 1,600 monthly searches. Best trauma therapist, Los Angeles, 1,300 searches. Okay, so Medicare therapist, Los Angeles, 1,300. Now, to my understanding, you don't take insurance at the moment. So all of these 1,800 phrases will not be, for example, massage therapist is of no value to you, radiation therapist, salary Los Angeles, this is of no value to you. But there will be, out of these 1,800 phrases, I think there would be 10% or 15% of them would be useful to you. Now, there are question keywords as well. So there are 21 questions that people are asking in Google. There's not a lot of volume, so I'm not going to bother with this. Let's head over to this column here that's called related keywords. There are 197 related keywords that total over 98,000 searches per month. So we already talked about therapist Los Angeles, but what about therapists in Los Angeles? Therapists in Los Angeles, CA, there's only 30 searches for that per month. There's also therapists, so that's with an S at the end, Los Angeles, 260 searches. How to find a therapist in Los Angeles, it's only 50 monthly searches. And then if you scroll down, you can actually see who is ranking for this specific phrase, Los Angeles therapist. So Psychology Today, of course, Psychology Today, it's such a big company, and naturally they're going to rank all of the difference in America. I think they're expanding into Canada if they haven't already, but Good Therapy. This is a news article. ZocDoc, of course. There's My LA Therapy. And you can kind of see if you wanted to outrank Psychology Today, they have a page authority of 27. Now, remember what I told you, your page authority is 6. So you're going to have to bump your page authority to 27 or more. They have 1,300 backlinks. You have 23. So we would have to build over 1,300 backlinks in order to rank you for that. Now, they get 1,500 visitors every single month. That's pretty good. And that's actually just for, people looking in Los Angeles. So if you were to up your scores, you would end up with about 1,500 monthly visitors instead of 16. Let's take a look at what needs to be fixed on your website. So you're currently scoring 53 out of 100 in Google. Your website loaded too slow, and this didn't work out here. You're supposed to see a screenshot. You're supposed to see this hero section of your website. Unfortunately, it didn't load. Now, there are some errors in your coding. Wix is like this. Wix is always upgrading, and I think they're fantastic, but they do have some errors in their code that give you mixed signals. So, for example, if I run a Google Chrome audit, your website speed is rated at 37 out of 100. However, when I run this audit, it actually says that your page loads fast enough. It doesn't. So just ignore this. This is a false positive. Heading over here, title tag should contain the exact keywords, and the title tag should begin with the keyword. Your description tags don't have keywords, and your description tag actually does mention Los Angeles, and it's written too long, so it's being truncated. So let me explain. Let's say we wanted to rank you for Los Angeles therapist. So up here, where it says psychologist Dr. Christina, this would actually be changed to Los Angeles therapist, psychologist Dr. Christina. This could stay the same, but it could say licensed clinical psychologist. And then we add a block of text here that says serving Los Angeles and, let's say surrounding cities. In here, we would put Los Angeles, and in one of these sections, Los Angeles. And down here, we would need Google actually does look for several things. They actually look for, especially when you have contact information, you lose points by just having this contact form in an email. Google's looking for also as much address information as you can give. Even though I understand you're not doing face to face, you're doing teletherapy, you kind of have to make your visitor happy and you have to Google happy as well. It's this unfortunate balancing act that has to be done. You gain points for having as much address information as possible, including stating your code and your country, having a telephone number, having business hours. All of those things will gain you a lot of points in Google. And what'll end up happening is if you give Google all of the information that they want, your authority score goes up. And if your authority score goes up, all these other things go up as well. So this is going to be a combination of fixing your website. Now, I'll send this audit to you so that you could see it yourself. Also, it says H1, H2, H3. It's literally missing. There's nothing there, and it's missing. This is something that Zoec probably mentioned to you at some point, and it was just overlooked. But basically, you have to have these things in your code in order for Google to understand exactly what you're doing. And remember, you have to Google who, what, where, when, and why within the first 100 words before the user starts to scroll. But then after the user scrolls, you also have to continue answering all of that information. And not only does your visitor, your potential patient, have to understand it, but Google has to understand it too. And if they do, they're going to end up ranking you. And for further proof, if you were to go to Psychology Today, you were to visit them, you would actually see that they have answered a lot of these things. So when you land on their actual website, it literally says, find the best therapists and psychologists in Los Angeles, CA. So right there, it's fully loaded with keywords. First 100 words, therapists in Los Angeles, CA. Few neighborhoods in Los Angeles. And then all of their listings are like, the various different therapists and psychologists and so on. And it's like Los Angeles, CA, Los Angeles, CA, Los Angeles, CA, Los Angeles, CA, over and over and over and over. And they have all of these 424 and 213 phone numbers. And so what ends up happening is Google says, oh, wow, this page of this website is definitely all about therapists in Los Angeles, California. And it just naturally ends up ranking for therapists in and psychologists in Los Angeles, California. And so you unfortunately have to play that game with Google if you want those kinds of rankings. This audit would basically have to be, actually, your website is, this is really just a one-page website. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, yeah, this is just a one-page website. So that does make it easier. But we would basically go ahead and do all of these fixes. This would be a lot of work to do these fixes. And so we'd be fixing all of the problems on this page. We would then go ahead and build, I would say, somewhere between 300 to 500 backlinks to start out. What would end up happening? It would probably take us about 10 to 12 months. You would see this continue to go up. Instead of 11 keywords, you'd probably see, I'm going to say 25 to 30 really good phrases that are related to Los Angeles therapists. And that would raise this authority score as well. And then you would end up having a dramatic amount of traffic. Instead of 16 visitors, you would probably hover around at least 260. And When you look at 1600 and 1300, there's a lot of upward room. And again, it really depends on your budget. That's as much information as I can share with you today. That consultation was completed in 2022, so naturally we have to do much more work today in order to keep up with all the many requirements that Google and AI platforms have. The impact of SEO is exponential. When done correctly, it becomes a major business asset. Revenue continues to grow while paid advertising continues to shrink. To recap this project, we completed our SEO checklist of over 200 tasks, such as setting up Google Search Console, Bing Webmaster Tools, and Google Analytics, fixing indexing problems, identifying the main competitors, performing full keyword research, technical SEO, on-page SEO, content creation, image SEO, off-page SEO, such as backlink building, which is the most time-consuming of all the tasks, and finally, conversion rate optimization to make sure that the highest percentage of visitors become actual paying clients. And there was much, much more. Every single SEO project has surprises along the way, so the to-do list is always increasing in size. The results, once again, 14 new patients every month, over 120 top-ranking keywords, more than 500 monthly visitors, and an 800% increase in AI visibility. Smart companies invest 1 to 2% of their annual revenue or expected annual revenue into SEO because the return on investment can be extraordinary when executed correctly. Now, the key word here is correctly. If you try to do SEO cheaply or quickly, your business will never reach its full potential and your smarter competitors will always beat you. Visit my website link in the video description and request your 90-day free trial. Thank you for watching, and if this video was helpful, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next case study.